All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a really fascinating intersection in Jodo. We're going to break down exactly what it takes to be truly, fundamentally good at this martial art. And then, here's the kicker, how those exact same internal qualities translate into actually winning official matches. It's this incredibly beautiful balance between internal mastery and external competition.
So, what's actually kind of wild about this is the paradox we have to navigate. We're trying to bridge the gap between the deeply internal philosophy of mastering an art form and the cold, hard external reality of winning a competitive match. I mean, in most sports, winning is literally just about putting points on a board, right? But our sources are super clear that the way of Jodo is really about enriching your view of life and practicing a cultural tradition. So, how on earth do referees score your personal growth? Well, as we'll see, the match rules are brilliantly designed to test the exact same qualities that prove your internal mastery. But hey, before we get too abstract, let's ground ourselves in the physical reality of the gear. The official regulations absolutely do not leave any room for guesswork here. The Jo, the wooden staff, has to be exactly 128 centimeters long and 2.4 centimeters wide. And the wooden sword, the tachi, exactly 101.5 centimeters. It's not around a meter, it's exact. It is incredible how intense that millimeter-level precision is. But listen, being good at Jodo starts right here. It starts with absolute respect for and total control over these hyper-specific physical tools. You simply can't master the art if you can't master the implements first.
Okay, so what does that foundational mastery actually look like in practice? The official instructional manual lays out 5 explicit pillars, and it's so much more than just hitting a target. It's about my eye, which means mastering the perfect physical distance between you and your opponent. It's about metsuke, having clear, unwavering vision. And it's about kiai, literally vocalizing your full energetic spirit straight from the gut. This right here is the absolute blueprint for being fundamentally good. You've got to eliminate all those bad physical habits before you even think about stepping onto a competition floor.
And this is where the real learning happens. Actually, scratch the idea of practicing alone. Jodo is all about mutual learning through 2 very distinct roles. You've got the shi, who wields the staff, and the uchi, who wields the sword. It's amazing to think that your progress is entirely dependent on having a live partner who is actively trying to close the distance and strike you. To be good, both the shi and the uchi have to breathe together. You have to synchronize your timing perfectly. It's a relationship of non-stop mutual refinement. So let's shift gears to the competitive side. How does all this internal, dojo-level mastery hold up in the highly regulated environment of the shiai, the official match? When you step out of your home dojo and into a tournament, all of those philosophical pillars of posture, distance, and spirit we just talked about, they are suddenly put under the massive magnifying glass of a strict judging panel. And once you're in, every single match follows a super tight chronological script. It moves seamlessly from the initial show of respect to the final judgment. It starts with rei, the mutual bow, strictly initiated by the chief referee, then hajime, to begin the set techniques, yame, to stop, and finally hante, the judgment. Being good in a match setting means executing your techniques flawlessly inside this rigid framework. There is zero room for hesitation. You just have to flow precisely through these stages. Now, if you take nothing else away from this explainer, remember this concept: ki, ken, tai, ichi. This translates to the ultimate synchronization of your spirit, which is your ki, your sword or stick, which is ken, and your body, tai. When a referee watches you, they are looking for that exact split-second moment where your vocalized spirit, the physical strike of your weapon, and the grounded movement of your body hit the exact same target at the exact same millisecond. It is, without a doubt, the absolute pinnacle of Jodo technique. And that brings us directly to the rules of winning. Referees aren't just looking to see who swings the hardest. According to Article 13, they're judging the holistic superiority of a player based on very strict criteria. And notice how these perfectly mirror those 5 pillars of mastery we looked at earlier? To win, you absolutely must demonstrate correct etiquette, maintain full spirit and proper posture, and use accurate techniques based on true sword principles. And of course, you have to show superiority in Kiken Taichi. Winning is quite literally just the public demonstration of your private mastery. And this strict, exacting environment, it even bleeds into the visual culture of the sport. The regulations literally dictate exact measurements for a player's name tag, down to the centimeter. They also lay out precise specs for the red and white referee flags used to make judgments. These aren't just random props they picked up. This intense level of visual precision is there to constantly reinforce the mental sharpness you need to be a champion. You have to be as sharp and exact as the uniform you're wearing. But here's the catch. You can have perfect technique and still lose. The regulations fiercely protect the dignity of the art. Articles 14 and 15 make it incredibly clear. Any disrespectful behavior, or obviously the use of prohibited substances, leads to immediate penalties, and usually a straight-up loss. Being good at Jodo means you have to master your ego just as much as your staff. If you lack manners, or try to cheat the system in any way, the rules dictate that you've already lost, no matter how physically skilled you are.
And speaking of the ego, we have to look at Article 30. To maintain ultimate order and respect, once those perfectly measured referee flags go up to declare a winner, that judgment is absolute. The rule is explicitly clear. No person can protest the judgment of the referees. Period. As a competitor, part of your mastery is accepting that outcome with the exact same grace and correct posture that you had during the match. Arguing or showing frustration breaks your spirit, your chi, and shows a complete lack of the very mastery Judo is trying to cultivate.
Which really brings us full circle to a profound question. In a discipline designed to be practiced across generations, is a tournament victory the end of the journey, or is it just another step on the path? Winning a match simply means that on that specific day, under those specific rules, your Kiken Tai-Ichi was superior. But the way of Judo, that endless pursuit of mutual learning and personal growth, that continues the exact second you step off the mat. So keep practicing your posture, keep refining your spirit, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.